Hey, okay, I'm gonna rant as only I can do. Because if you remember back in 2018, I was selling a bunch of stuff I planned to move, plans fell through. Well, a lot of that stuff I thought, okay, I'll sell it and then once I get settled in, I can replace it. Well, one of those things was my Newsies soundtrack. Not so easy to replace. I bought that soundtrack when I was in middle school, and the thing is that a lot of soundtracks back in like 2002 for Disney were like there was like a remastered collection. And when you look online, because I just did, um, there's like it doesn't even show. They have like a legacy collection, but they don't show the whole all these remastered things that they were doing. And so but yeah, they were releasing a bunch and they had like special tracks and everything of unreleased and all of this. So I knew that it would be that version. It was the same cover, the same picture, but it was like enhanced and everything. It was like a more grayish tone, and the little newsboy was highlighted and everything. So I can adapt as long as I have the soundtrack. Here's the problem though. There were like a couple of the I have a thing in my eye and I have hair in my eye, so just bear with me here. Anyway, there were a couple of those soundtracks that for some reason the audio was screwy, and there was one in particular that just didn't play. And so like technical difficulties with DVDs and CDs just in general during the early 2000s. My Dumbo DVD that I bought is a perfect example. I mean, it's like the menu doesn't work, and I have to buy it again as much as I don't want to. But I mean, the movie is fine itself. I can watch the movie, but at the same time, it's like pulling teeth trying to actually get to the movie. So yeah, there was quite a few hiccups with audio and everything. So and there was a couple of those remastered soundtracks from Disney that had that problem. And so I was just trying to find out if this one, because Newsies back then still was not very well known. In fact, I remember talking to people at the dance studio and they were like, why Newsies? We understand all these other ones, but why that one? Why? I mean, like Bedknobs and Broomsticks and Aladdin and Cinderella and all these others, but why Newsies? So yeah, it was still not even a blip on the map, on the Disney map. But for some reason, they were bringing it back in 2000. They were doing the soundtrack. They were going to remaster it and everything. So I just wanted to find out, read some reviews and find out something about it. Was there something wrong with it? I fell down around. This is where my rant comes from. I have no problem with you guys loving Broadway shows and everything. I love Phantom of the Opera. I absolutely love it. I saw it in San Francisco and I've been a fan ever since. Here's the problem. You guys have your head wedged up a certain body cavity, and it's like you guys just don't get it. And because I may sound bitchy and I don't care, because it goes movie first, then the Broadway show. It's always been that way. It's like law, okay? Because Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Aladdin, prove me wrong, you can't. Because it's always been that way. The movie comes first and then the Broadway show. So I don't understand where this disconnect comes from that you think that with Newsies, the Broadway show came first. No, Kenny Ortega honestly, we would have never known about the events from 1899 if it hadn't been for Kenny Ortega. You wouldn't have a Broadway show if not for Kenny Ortega. Oh my gosh. And that show hasn't been around for like what, 2013? Cuz I was out of college by the time it hit the stage. So, oh my gosh. So, yeah, not sorry to sound bitchy, but it's like this bubble that you're in is just, it needs to be popped. Okay. So, there's that. I'm reading these reviews and what planet are you on? Okay. What fucking planet are these people on? Again, it's great that you love the Broadway show. You can absolutely love it. And again, I know people that they'll watch different casts and everything and they love it. But this isn't a Disney product. This, I mean, that was like the one that really floored me. This isn't a Disney product. The Disney version is better. And there was one person that went off on this thing about, I guess there's one song that her daughter absolutely loved in the stage production, and it wasn't on the movie soundtrack, and so her daughter was absolutely disappointed. So now she's saying they need to remake the movie and put all the songs in it. Yeah, there were several reviews that were saying not all the songs are on it. Do you understand how Broadway works? I, that's like me going to the American Idiot Broadway production and flipping out because they added songs. Well, that's not on the album. Why did. No. I've listened to the album for several years. Why did you do that, Billy Joe? You guys are nuts. You guys are absolutely. Again, you have your heads in a particular body cavity and you need to remove it. You guys are spending the entire time spamming the review comment section, talking about how you're an expert on theater and all this stuff. No, you're not. Because you don't know how movies being translated into theater works. They add things, they take away things on both sides. There was another person who said that they thought that this was the Broadway DVD. There were other people who were saying that the cover was different from the Broadway. Look, I understand. There's like 3 Broadway soundtracks. So it gets a little, but Jeremy Jordan is obviously on each one. He's on the cover. That's not Jeremy Jordan on that damn cover. So, I mean, why did you buy it? You wasted your money and now you're mad. There was another person who 3 paragraphs talking about how they spent half their life. I mean, they just droned on. They're like, I know everything about voices and listening to radio recordings and using fancy wording and everything and blah 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 blah. This person thought that Ella Keats and Anne Margaret were the actresses in the Broadway show. So you know nothing. You really thought that this was a Broadway recording. There was someone else who said that the instrumental tracks were distracting. So obviously you have never owned a Disney soundtrack before. Because almost every Disney soundtrack has instrumental tracks. I mean, it got to, at first I was like extremely annoyed because I was not finding anything that actually told me about the soundtrack. And then it just got humorous and then just sad. Because I was like, I would like to think that these people are intelligent, but they're not. And I'm going to prove why. I mean, I know that people are going to be like, how dare you use this time to call people stupid and idiots and everything. On the cover, it has the picture, of the, on the, in the background, you see the gates and everything. And this, in the front, you see this kid leaping up in the air. He's got a newspaper in his hand and everything. Above him, clearly, clear as day, it says Disney musical Newsies. And you guys are saying not a Disney product. The Disney version is better. This is Disney. But it gets better because underneath him, it says in like the typewriter lettering, original motion picture soundtrack. So the person the person that said that this was a DVD, they thought that this was a DVD. Where? How did you think that this was? How? Everything was there. It's not false advertising. Nowhere is it false advertising. and and I'm not saying that every person in theater is like this or the theater obsessed is like this. But why are you going out of your way to spam things because you just bought something that you thought you just wasted your money? That's basically what you did. And again, motion picture, Broadway soundtracks, they say original Broadway cast recording. And I got to tell you, it gets even better because there's another picture on this and it shows the back. And on the back, it says the year 1992. It's the year it was recorded. And it shows the cast. Christian Bale. Christian Bale and Bill Pullman and Anne Margaret. So it shows several of the cast. And nowhere does it say Jeremy Jordan. Nowhere. So you guys have no reason to be pissed at anybody else except yourselves. I'm reading this and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I mean, I've seen some pretty fantastic reviews. People are spamming the reviews section because something came broken, and it's like, that's something that you need to take up with UPS, not Amazon or, whatever. And, so, but this is just ridiculous. It's as clear as day. Just and then when they're going off about how mediocre the acting is and how mediocre the sound is and how mediocre this is and that is, and it's like, how many times can you say mediocre in one paragraph? You're obviously, you love the Broadway show. We get it. So why did you waste your money on the movie soundtrack? Why? I mean, you don't sound intelligent when you do that. See, this is an issue that a lot of us have when we're trying to find information on something. I just wanted to know if anybody had issues with the audio, but people are just spamming the comments saying that the audio is a problem, basically because it's not Jeremy Jordan. And it's not this person, it's not that person. The person who spent 3 paragraphs talking about how they listened to original cast recordings and it made the sound distorted. It's not the actresses in the Broadway show. It's Ella Keats and Anne Margaret, damn it. Oh my gosh. Um, and that's the issue. People don't pay attention. They don't want to pay attention. And again, you can love the Broadway show, but the movie came first. In fact, in 2 years, it's going to be 30 years old, which will make me 40, and that's just wonderful. But I was 10 when that movie came out, and I've loved it ever since. I mean, good heavens, people. I don't get it. I'm sorry that you bought something that you weren't expecting, but you need to pay more attention. You know, there are those of us that would like to actually read a review that actually has to do with what it wasn't a DVD. It says clear as day on it, soundtrack. So that's your own fault. Okay? And before I close up, because this is taking longer than I want, there were those people that said that, you know, they are Disney obsessed and they will take everything that has to do with Disney. They didn't know about the movie, and which I totally understand because, you know, Newsies bombed. I've said it millions of times. It face planted. Not an exaggeration. It didn't do well in theaters at all. But so when my mom called me, you know, I was in college at the time. I think it was like 2010 at that point, and she's telling me that Newsies is going to end up in um on Broadway. I thought it was a joke. And to find out that it actually was happening, I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever, I guess." And- but there were a lot of people who were reviewing, and they said that they liked hearing the original soundtrack, and now they are obsessed with the movie as well. Now they have been introduced to more Newsies. So I saw a lot of that as well. So and I, but to see all these people who are just so dang pissed off at this soundtrack, you know, the Disney version's better. This is the Disney version. It's the original version. Kenny Ortega is the reason that you have the Broadway show. So I don't know, guys. Anyway, so when you review something, be a little more intelligent with what you're reviewing. Anyway, so I may just go ahead and buy it, and then if it's not, but yeah, it's just because I need my soundtrack back, guys. Going nuts.